Yes, my name is Gualter Amarelo, and I'm hanging out with Michael Schein and Mitch Jaworski. Mike, bring us in.
Massive income from passive income.
Mitch, how do we get it?
We open a title office in Ocala and organize and collect.
That sounds about right. That sounds like what Mike's doing right now.
That is what Mike's doing.
Yeah, we got
organizing and collecting in Ocala.
We're actually, they're giving it to us a couple of days early because we got desks going down there and all that good stuff. It's going to be, so yeah.
Man.
2.0, Blay title.
Blay title coming to Florida. So I do want to talk about living long. I know that money is usually what we talk about. We talk about making money, wealth, millionaires. But we were talking earlier about centennials, how to get to be 100 years old, how to get to 80, 70, 90, like in life.
Create your own blue zone.
Creating a blue zone, like a little Alchemist Nation blue zone. So I watched this thing on Netflix. Mitch, you said you watched it. And Mike, your parents are in their 80s now, right?
Yeah, my dad turned 89 yesterday.
Nice.
89.
Yeah.
And he's still rocking, right? He's still doing business deals?
Yeah, and he rides his bike 10 miles a day. He goes to the gym every day and he swims. He's always been a swimmer, swims every day.
Wow.
89.
Hold on.
He attributes it. He eats a quart of raw broccoli every day.
Really?
Just eats broccoli. Broccoli is like the best vegetable, so therefore food in the world, probably.
Well, so I understand swimming and I understand going to the gym, but he rides his bike every day?
Yeah, so in the gated community that he's in is a 3-mile road that has just the people in the community. It's not like a crazy Florida road. And they have like security driving around, so you can't go like a maniac on a golf cart. Ask me how I know. Anyways, so he'll go around like 3 times before he goes up to the gym. And then the gym has like everything you want, like the ropes and the kettlebells and all that kind of stuff. So 89, he still does it.
All right. So that's one of the things they were talking about. The other thing they were talking about was the diet. So you said broccoli.
Yep. Yep.
And the other thing that they talked about was socializing. It was like you had to be super social. And that's how you become like a centennial. That's how you live really long. Nice. So for those of you who are listening right now and wondering why are we caring about old life, it's because we figured out money. We figured money out. And now that leaves the most valuable asset, which is our time, which is what we're, I don't want to say running out of, but I want to manufacture more of it.
I got 3 resources on this. It's funny you're talking about this. So first of all, my favorite doctor, vegan doctor, Dr. Michael Greger, who wrote the book, How Not to Die, followed it up with How Not to Diet. And his new book that's coming out is called How Not to Age. And it's on Amazon, but I think it's pre-order on Amazon right now. So How Not to Age, that's number 1. Number 2, Tony Robbins has a whole thing with aging that he's doing. He has like some, I don't know if you know what a click funnel is, but there's like a funnel.
I'm familiar with funnels. I just bought Alex Hormozi's book, $100 Million Leads.
I might have heard of one.
I might know about a funnel or two.
So he's got a funnel.
Went down the funnel.
I'm gonna look for it, but he has a book with somebody else, Tony Robbins, about the whole aging thing, because like you said, it's such a big deal once you've solved the money problem that you go to living. It's called Life Force by Tony Robbins. And that is a funnel. So you can probably get it for free from Tony. And then once you
free with shipping and handling.
Yeah, exactly. The whole thing. Peter Diamandis. You don't know him too. He's pretty famous too.
Yep.
Anyway, so that's the second one. And then the third is I went to this event and is it the governor or the mayor of Puerto Rico? He has a former governor started a program in Costa Rica where they will do all sorts of aging stuff. Like they'll take your blood and exchange it for like cord blood, like, stuff that in the United States is too much red tape about, but you can go to Costa Rica and have it all done. And it like makes you younger.
That's funny. I had someone talking about that. I think because of Tony Robbins, they're thinking about going to Costa Rica to have like stem cells injected for their back problem or whatever.
That's it.
They just
and
need
it cures like all
cures
sorts,
back problems.
Yeah, all sorts of stuff. So those so it's a big deal these days.
I noticed Grant Cardone's now got 10x health. He's been shifting into that space.
There you go.
I watched last
that
night.
Guy, his health guy I see on like reels, TikToks, everything all the time.
So last night I was watching a show on how to become a centennial, and they came up with this dial, this thing of the 4 types of things that make a person live longer. Top being move. So we've kind of established that you got to move, you got to do stuff. And then the right outlook, this mindset, you got to have purpose, and you have to downshift. You have to be able to meditate. And then there is eating wisely, which, Mike has been obviously making sure all of Alchemist Nation is fully aware of the value of eating vegetables and plants. And so they got this 80% rule, which I thought was like really interesting. They don't like 80% of their food is like vegetables. It's like just 100% like 80% vegetables.
Right. They have a little teeny piece of meat.
That's it. And they actually don't eat many times during the day. Like they actually eat very few times during the day. It's like 1 time or 2 times. And then the other thing that they had was this connection. And this was one of the biggest things that they all kept saying was it was diet and connection and a positive mindset. And like everybody agreed movement was necessary. They couldn't stop moving. And the sense of belonging, loved ones being first, and then the right tribe. This right tribe was like really tied to their mindset. Like they were just saying, like the right people have a mindset of eating healthy and movement and staying connected and staying positive. And so what they were saying is that your tribe dictated all the other 3. So the people you surrounded yourself with were what dictated whether you moved, whether you did the right outlook. And a lot of their movement was group movement. It wasn't individual solo movement. It was group movement. And as I was watching it last night, I was just like, oh my God, Alchemist Nation could live forever.
Yeah. That's awesome.
It was wild because we see it in the community. When people want to become successful, they need to see other successful people. That's why Mitch's stories about his portfolio are so valuable. Or your stories about like how you've done your partnerships, like that creates like a sense of it's okay to do this stuff. It's okay to partner with people. It's okay to trust people. Here's the red flags. Here's what not to look for, what not to accept. And that kind of, even this podcast, like even us jumping on here and like sharing things that we've gained is one more level of like, now you can avoid mistakes. You can like not get eaten by the lion, and you can, what to eat, right? You're not gonna eat the poison berry. Don't go down that Ponzi scheme. Like go and invest in real estate. Real estate makes more sense. So here's what a business would look like. That here's how you evaluate stuff. So it's a really interesting factor that being successful in money is also a dependent factor of who you hang around with. What was interesting with some of these cities, these blue zones, like Mitch was saying earlier, is that a lot of people aren't rich. A lot of them are not wealthy. You don't need money to live a long time.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. There was no focus really on money. There was all those other things you just mentioned. And these people were super happy and life was good. And obviously the power of community was just proven even more so with that, and that's why there's all those, you were the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Well, those people in that community is like, they were all healthy. They were all living long. And there was a reason for that, because all those aspects you just mentioned, and because of the environment they were in, the community they were with. Environment is such a huge impact on what we do.
The environment is stronger than willpower. And there was another factor that came up that was really interesting, and it was the fact that these people all volunteered. They were all volunteering to help others. They're all volunteering. And one of the things that volunteering did for them was it got them physically active, because they had to go and do a thing. It got them around people that was involving community. And when you're giving, it puts you into a positive state of mind, because you're in a position to give, which is a positive frame. And they were all eating healthy. Like they were basically, it was help the poor, help this, help that, help this person, they're ill or they're lame. Like it was a very fascinating concept to look at, is that these guys were all volunteering in their 90s, in their 80s and 90s. They're out there contributing to others. I think society, we've got a mistake. We look at our old people and we're like, well, they're pretty much done. We should contribute to them. Instead of saying these guys still have a capacity to do something. They still have, like, we should be listening to them. We should be.
Well, they have a ton of wisdom. There's a life worth of wisdom.
Right.
Yeah, was it? I don't remember if it was Okinawa or if it was the
Loma Linda.
Yeah, or that, which is more like what, somewhere in the, like near Italy maybe, or whatever it was.
Loma Linda, I think, is in the U.S.
California.
No, there was
Sardinia
there
is
you go.
in
So
Italy.
California, there was that. So yeah, there was actually one blue zone in the United States, and
That
then
was
there was
Loma Linda. Yeah.
for the one like I only watched
That's
like
where
2
Ronald
episodes.
Reagan's from. So
Oh, there you
Yeah,
go.
that was the Adventists. The Adventist church was like,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So, but I mean, there was I only watched a couple episodes. There was two cities in other countries, and then one in the U.S.
Oh yeah, isn't it like Sardinia, Italy? I think it's
yes, that was the other one.
Sardinia,
yeah. So, and I think it was in Sardinia where basically they were talking about, and it could have been also Okinawa, but there's no like nursing homes, assisted living, like that's not a thing. Like your family takes care of each other. So they had the one like grandmother or whatever in her 90s, and like between like the nieces and the daughters and whoever, like they just all came to see grandma like every day, like, and they enjoyed it. Like it wasn't like, oh, I gotta freaking do this, blah blah blah. Like that was like,
that's awesome.
It's family.
Awesome.
As opposed to here where we just stick our grandparents in nursing homes.
That's right.
Which is why that investment is obviously doing so well.
Right.
Residential assisted living. Is that a segue into
Vinny Chopra?
Meanwhile, go to another country, might not do so well.
That's exactly right. So I do have to jump, guys, because Greg is in here. We're talking about buying a property in Decatur, Illinois.
Yes.
So
properties. I love it.
We do have
that's awesome.
35 units under agreement. It's closing sometime next week. And
wow, already.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was quick.
No
Greg
due diligence. No due diligence. None of that.
Greg already flew out there. He got a property manager to scope the building out. We got our report back, and it's a go.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, when people are like, oh, it takes 3 months to close, not so much. Turns out it takes Greg about 12 days.
That's awesome. All right.
Dorina.
Massive income from passive income.
Give it, Mitch.
Organize and collect.
The point is not to work, it's to generate income. We'll see you at the 100 Millionaire Summit. Cheers to your success. We have a choice.
Always work with the best. Peace.
Thanks, gents.
You guys.